What's up, fellow football fans, and welcome back to another ONETA football show brought to you by PTE Creative. As always, I am your host, Evan Davies, and it is a joy to finally have a football schedule ahead of us. Although we are still over 3 months, 3 whole months plus away from the NFL season. It's just right around the corner. And we have a full slate of games to talk about as the schedule was literally just finally released less than an hour ago for me as of recording. So I'm going to go through every single week, highlight some games I think are going to be really interesting and really fun, and kind of go through some common themes. That is how we're going to be taking this episode. And I even got it on time. I thought because the schedule release, this was going to have to take place tomorrow and then be released on Friday late, but I'm going to get it to you on time, even though in the other shows I said it wasn't going to get you. So let's get to it. So if you are on the video side, you get to see the full schedule up on screen. So let's go week one. We open Ravens at Chiefs. Obviously, we all know by now you're going to have the Super Bowl champion as the first game of the year. Unless there's such some wild thing that you can't take care of. I adore the fact that we're getting an AFC Championship rematch. I think the Texans would have been a spicier opener. But what's cool about the Ravens is they're in a state of flux, but so is Kansas City. Because have they really truly solved their problems yet? And it's a good rematch. And it immediately puts in the perspective, which is I think what the NFL is going for, is it's a bankable blockbuster between two MVP candidates, two-time MVPs both at the quarterback position. You're getting a really interesting dynamic in the fact that two juggernauts can both be taken down that week in the first game, where people think, oh, the Ravens, they're always going to be around. They might get taken out right away. Or the Chiefs might happen just like what happened with the Lions last year. Upset, and then the whole kind of league's thrown on its head of, oh, God, maybe not everything's what we saw. So to get Thursday is really fun. And then we roll right into Friday. I'm wearing my Packer gear for you right here and now. To get the game, we already knew this one was coming. But Green Bay as the quote-unquote away team against Philadelphia in Sao Paulo, Brazil. It's just utterly wild. And it's a Friday game. And I think it's so cool that we're getting Thursday, Friday back to back, and it's opening weekend, and you're not going to feel overwhelmed because it's opening weekend and you're starving for NFL content. And again, it's the tale of two different teams. You're getting the Eagles team that fell off the face of the earth versus the Packer team that was left for dead and revived like a phoenix to have a miracle run the last 10 weeks of the season, and may have a phoenix of a quarterback for themselves in Jordan Love. So really interesting dynamics. I love how they set up Thursday and Friday with big time games and big time teams that are bankable franchises for success. The 1 o'clock slot is pretty much teams that belong there. Pittsburgh is not very interesting, even if they could be a good team. They're not super fun to watch. Atlanta is an interesting one in the 1 o'clock slot. I think as I'm looking at this, we get a few divisional round games, which is fun. I think the most interesting game of the 1 o'clock slot here is Titans at Bears. I'm not saying that the NFL is invested in making Caleb Williams a star, but they are. I have no issue with that. But I love that week one in the 1 o'clock slot, one of the biggest drawing games is going to be that Bears game due to Caleb Williams. And the Titans are just this sacrificial lamb, where it's just, hey, we don't think you're all that great. Let's go make Caleb Williams look like a star. That's what this feels like to me. Whether I'm right or wrong is a different story, but it certainly feels like that is the 1 o'clock game to watch. I'm also going to be interested to see how Vikings-Giants go. As you know, I have great friends that are Giants fans, and I want to see if they can kind of turn around versus possibly a J.J. McCarthy-led Vikings team. And I really am actually interested in Cardinals at Bills as well, because what should look like a sacrificial lamb game of the Bills just getting an easy win, I don't think that's an easy win. That's pretty interesting 1 o'clock slot. And then we go to the four slot and the 4:30 slot, and we get Cowboys not in prime time in week 1, which is excellent because fuck the Cowboys and no one needs that shit. I don't care if they're called quote unquote America's team because that's not right either. But Cowboys at Browns. I would love to see the Cowboys all in fall flat in their face. And I love that it's the 4:30 game. That's definitely going to be I think it was already announced, but that's the Tom Brady game. That's his debut as Fox's #1 commentator. Who knows how Tom Brady's going to be in the booth. I'm not a Tom Brady fan, but I love the fact that you don't have Cowboys in prime time. You're going back to that America's Game of the Week slot on Fox, and you're getting Cowboys at Browns, and that should be an actual really good game. And a very fun and interesting take on the schedule. And then we get deserving teams, the divisional rematch, the wild card rematch of Rams-Lions. Lions get to host the NFC Championship runner-up, and they get to host a game, Rams team that's now missing its leader. So how do they respond? Versus a Lions team that you're now in the spotlight. You're now supposed to be a fixture. You're now supposed to win. How do you respond? Sunday Night Football right away. It's great stuff. Great content all around for that one. And then the interesting one that clearly is the Rodgers return game and the usual NFL, we think the Jets are going to suck, so we're going to put the Jets in prime time to get the New York market in prime time fast with Jets at 49ers. If the 49ers play anything like they normally do, the Jets are going to get murdered. But you never know. Maybe Aaron Rodgers pulls one out of his hat. And as a former Packer fan, or I shouldn't say as a former Packer fan, as a Packer fan with Aaron Rodgers as our former quarterback, that's what I meant there. That's a really interesting dynamic to get. So we have a really interesting week 1 with a lot of good games to fill the slate across the board. And even if you don't love the 1 o'clock slot, there's still some games there for you. And even if you don't love the 4 o'clock slot, there's still interesting games that can really fit the mold of what you're looking for. So I really appreciate that through week 1. Let's go week 2. I'm also looking at this blind as well, by the way, friends. So it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. I love the loading speed of the NFL. Getting our first Thursday night prime video game here. And Bills at Dolphins, interesting matchup. And we're just going through Packers at Colts at Packers, that's good. I will be at Lambeau Sunday, September 15th. I can guarantee you that. If you're a Packer fan, you're going to be at Lambeau, or a Colt fan, or you just want to go to Lambeau that day, I'd love to see you there. We'll track down each other. Maybe we'll even park in the same person's backyard. Who knows? And yes, that's actually a thing in Green Bay. So, 1 o'clock, we're starting to get the mishmasher games. Buccaneers at Lions is an interesting playoff rematch. 49ers at Vikings is kind of interesting, but it's one of those early in the season weird weeks where nothing was really like clawing out at you. It's like, gotta watch. And then we go, and wow, there's so many 1 o'clock games. 4 o'clock is only 3 games. Bengals at Chiefs is the obvious standout now. Joe Burrow, theoretically healthy. Who knows if that's true or not, though. At Kansas City in the 4 o'clock slot against Patrick Mahomes. There's a real good possibility Chiefs go 0-2. And where's the storytelling aspects there? I really appreciate that. Really love that for week 2. That's clearly the standout game. And then Sunday night, we got to get that Bears love in somehow. So Bears at Texans. Caleb Williams going against last year's #1 quarterback draftee in C.J. Stroud in terms of quality and performance. So this could be upset alert, and that could be he's showing maybe the Bears are for real, and a good test for the Texans as the Bears have gotten a lot better. So we're going to see how that looks. Then Monday night, this is, to me, I hope the Falcons, beyond the fact that I hate the Eagles and I hope they get boat raced every time they're playing, for the interest of the game, I'm really hoping that the Falcons are at least interesting on offense, which I think with Kirk Cousins healthy they can be. But I'm just hoping they can really show up for this game because these early primetime games The Eagles usually just devour opponents that aren't prepared. So this could either be really fun fireworks show or just a total dud. So week 2 is a toss-up week for me personally. Here we go. Week 3. We got through week 2 quickly compared to the other one. All right, Prime Video, that's a dud. Patriots at Jets, who cares? Maybe it could be Drake May versus Aaron Rodgers, but I'm sorry, that's just not an interesting game to me. Let's go 1 o'clock here. Texans at Vikings could be interesting with the fireworks of the Texans versus Vikings. Wow, this is not a dud week, but there's not a lot of standout games in the 1 o'clock slot. And then we go 4 o'clock. Lions at Cardinals could be pretty fun. Ravens at Cowboys could be very interesting. And then probably what's going to be game of the week. Actually, I'm sorry, no. Ravens at Cowboys is going to be America's game of the week. But 49ers at Rams is probably going to be a better game. Far more interesting to watch. I really love the idea of the Rams, if they're still going to be in contention, challenging the 49ers in that division. The 49ers, they can only kind of go down from here unless they go Super Bowl again. So, I know that's such an obvious statement to make, but what I mean is the pressure is eventually going to break the dam. They either have to win the Super Bowl this year or the dam's kind of broken and the window may be closed. So, it's going to be really interesting to see an in-division team that's really good, and the Rams, let's see how they're going to do against a 49er team. That is certainly interesting and usually game. We get more Chiefs, which is always good in the Sunday night slot, and they're at the Falcons. Once again, same thing goes. I really hope we have a fireworks where the Falcons, the NFC West, or the NFC South, rather, it's just such an uninteresting division. So I'm hoping that we can get some fireworks, or we just get Chiefs rolling as Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs do. And God, it's so weird seeing Eastern time zone right here, knowing full well I will no longer be in the Eastern time zone. I'm going to quick change the camera for a second when I say this, because this is a personal gripe, but it's true. I do not believe in a higher power. If you do, great for you. But I call the Central time zone God's time zone, because it's clearly the best time zone for sports. Everything is, you have enough time to get ready in the morning, and then you go straight into sports. People can spend all day at your house, and it's not crazy because it's not taking up the too early hours or the late hours. You can watch a Sunday night football game and still have an hour or 2 or 3, depending on your schedule and how well the game goes, to wind down your night. Whereas in the Eastern time zone, it's absolute bullshit, and it sucks to be a sports fan in the Eastern time zone, especially a football fan. So I just had to say, fuck the Eastern time zone. I'm so glad I'm going to be back in God's time zone, Central time zone, and I'm not going to be victim of the Eastern time zone slots. So I just had to get that out of the way. But here we go back to our schedule, not to this random video from NFL Network. And we're here. I will see this game at 7:20, not 8:20 Sunday night. Then we go Monday night. It's doubleheader. I don't understand these doubleheaders on Monday nights. You're just splitting an audience. I don't get it. But part of the reason primetime is fun is the fact that it's the kind of the highlight of the week. Jaguars at Bills. I think there are both two teams that could implode, so that's interesting. And Commanders at Bengals. I wish I could say something more than who cares, but we'll move on. So I'm not crazy about primetime in week 3 outside of Sunday night with the Chiefs. Rolling in week 4, load her up here. And we are going to have ourselves in week 4. Cowboys at Giants as the Thursday night game. Got to get that New York media in. You never know how the Giants are going to do. Possibly, hopefully, Malik Neighbors can really stretch that Cowboys secondary that can be attacked if done properly. So we'll see if the Giants can really match up to the Cowboys, and hopefully they can continue the theoretical collapse of the Cowboys as they're all in and hopefully lose every game possible. Sorry, Cowboys fans. You're seeing a little bit more fan as this comes out. But interesting Thursday night, at the very least, divisional matchup that it has a little bit of juice, whereas the Patriots just have no juice whatsoever to me. And the Jets, I hope they're interesting. I hope they're fun to watch just for the sake of football. And I do still like watching Aaron Rodgers play the game. But the Jets just aren't super interesting to me. So, as compared to the other Thursday night game we just saw. 1 o'clock slot, we're getting a lot of good we're getting divisional rounds. Classic rivalry, Saints at Falcons. Classic rivalry, Vikings at Packers. That's good. Jaguars at Texans could be interesting if the Jags get it together. Interesting, fun stuff in the 1 o'clock slot. We're also getting fun little games like, Eagles at Buccaneers could be fun, especially if Baker's feeling dangerous that day. Again, the 1 o'clock slot, at least this 1 o'clock slot, has some spice to it with the divisional matchups. And then we get the Nathaniel Hackett Bowl of Broncos at Jets, so that's going to be fun. I would love for Sean Payton just to crush that again, even though they already played. It'd be fun. Or Aaron Rodgers to make sure Sean Payton keeps his coach's name out of his mouth. That'd be very interesting. So that's a fun little personal beef there. I do like that. So week 4 is a good 1 o'clock slot. We go to the 4 o'clocks, and these all feel, I take back what that said. Most of the first two feel like sacrificial lamb games, and the fact that I'm thinking the Cardinals are going to be better. I don't know where the Commanders are going to be, but who knows? With Jaden Daniels, they could pop up. Patriots at 49ers, just carve the tombstone already. But Chiefs at Chargers for the first divisional matchup between those two with Jim Harbaugh in division, that's going to be fun. And I would love to see that heavy rushing attack of the Chargers, which is clearly going to happen because that's what Jim Harbaugh does. Attack and obviously finesse passing team like the Chiefs. Just a clash of styles makes for great fights, so I really appreciate that in this. So that's the fun matchup. And then we get quote-unquote superpowers going at it. Bills at Ravens Sunday night. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, running quarterback, Palooza. That's going to be fun up in Baltimore. I should say for me, currently down in Baltimore. And we'll be still down in Baltimore, technically. But whatever. For the majority of the country, up in Baltimore. Be accurate. I also like that one. The Bills are seemingly, if I'm remembering a lot of these Bills games correctly, the Bills are being tested early. They're getting their, things tested in which are they going to come out and do really well. Some of them feel like, oh, no, but even Jaguars could be an interesting game. Ravens could certainly be an interesting game. So, Buffalo's going to have to prove that they're still in their Super Bowl window, which I don't believe is true, but who knows? And then Titans at Dolphins and Seahawks at Lions. Seahawks at Lions can at least still be fun. Good rematch from the last couple years. Again, these goddamn Monday doubleheaders with ESPN and ABC are problematic, especially all the way into week 4. But instead of having to suffer through just Titans at Dolphins, which probably isn't going to be fun because the Titans aren't fun, I do appreciate the fact that we're getting a good team like the Lions in prime time with at least what should be a fun Seahawks team. So redemption, if you're going to have a doubleheader, at least it's not a dead doubleheader. It's a worthwhile doubleheader. So week 4, a lot better, a lot spicier than 1 p.m., which is going to be the biggest slot for most people. All right, we're cruising. We're already a fourth of the way through the season, folks. And we are timing this pretty well, actually. So week 5, Buccaneers at Falcons. Rivalry in division game. Could be fun. Let's hope those teams have some fireworks. The first of the London games. Jets versus Vikings. Interesting. All right, Panthers at Bears. Ravens at Bengals is a good 1 o'clock. Bills at Texans could be a good 1 o'clock. Even Colts at Jaguars, if Anthony Richardson is still healthy by this time of the year, could be a fun matchup. Okay. 1 o'clock again. We're getting some good divisional in-round matchups. And then, honestly, I would take I'm still a Bryce Young supporter. I still like Bryce Young. Bryce Young versus Caleb Williams, duel the past two number one picks. Fun stuff. And again, this Bears team could be on a roll, here with some early wins against some teams. But I'd take a flyer on that game just to see the development of the quarterbacks. That could be fun. Alrighty. Now we go 4 o'clock slot. Cardinals at 49ers is always interesting. For some reason, Kyler Murray is just always a pain in the ass for the 49ers, which I love. And then, oh, God, fuck. I say fuck. I hate CBS's coverage of the NFL. I like Ian Eagle and Charles Davis. I hate Jim Nantz and Tony Romo's commentary. It's awful. I can't stand it. And I'm looking at Packers at Rams selfishly getting probably the primary CBS slot. And it hurts my feelings because I don't want to listen to Tony Romo. So this is something I was saving for another episode, and I will go over again. Again, we're going back to the personal soapbox here. There is a rule in my home. I may have talked about this in the past. There is a rule in my home during football, and I am diligent about it, called the Romo rule. The Romo rule is, in effect, anytime Tony Romo's on commentary, the TV gets muted. If it's a game I truly care about, such as a Packer game or a big high-stakes game that needs to have some volume, I will turn the volume up so I can at least hear it a little bit. It hurts my feelings watching a great game done by Tony Romo because then I'm not getting the audience. I'm not getting the crowd. Now, the cool part is I at least do have surround sound speakers, so if I sit closer to a speaker, I get more audience sound and crowd noise than I do just Tony Romo's stupid commentary. And by Tony Romo's, I also mean Jim Nantz fucking sucks. I hate Jim Nantz's commentary. So, it's a double whammy of shit commentary that I don't want on a team that I absolutely love. It hurts my feelings. So, I highly suggest if you're a football fan and you don't like Tony Romo, instill the Romo rule. It's a great rule to have in your home. Even when I have people over, if there are friends who are understanding about it, I will still implement the Romo rule while I have people over at my home. That's how serious I am about this. So, I highly recommend Romo rule. Great rule. Enjoy it, but it's going to hurt me for this Packer game here in week... What the hell week? Is it week 6? Yeah, week 5. My apologies, week 5. I just see that we're already into October, but wow. But again, 4 o'clock slot, Cardinals at 49ers is interesting. Packers at Rams is interesting. Who knows if the Giants are a little spicy. Giants at Seahawks doesn't suck. Oh, God, Cowboys at Steelers. We're getting those 70s Super Bowl rematches here. They're two obvious teams that always get ratings. It's a smart business philosophy. I just don't have any interest in either of them. They're just not exciting. There's no juice there. And people can be like, oh, what are you talking about? Dallas are the playoff team and Steelers are a playoff team. They're fucking boring to watch, man. They're just not fun. Cowboys at Steelers, oh God. Okay, week 5, but it's a good ratings game. I get it. Then we get Saints at Chiefs. Monday night at least is saved by Patrick Mahomes. Okay, we're cool. And it's always fun to watch the Saints lose. So, good game there for Monday night. And if you hate Patrick Mahomes, that's your own problem. My apologies on that. You don't like Patrick Mahomes, but if you don't, it's your own fault rooting against the best quarterback to ever play the position. And as always, that's my customary. I said it and I meant it for it. We're into week 6, 49ers at Seahawks. This is an interesting Thursday night game. I respect it. I enjoy it. I like it. I like it a lot. That is going to be fun. Could be fun. Could be fun. That's going to be real fun. I like that one. Now we go to another London game, Jaguars versus Bears. Jaguars just need to move to London already, which I will get to in a future episode, but that's a different story. Caleb Williams going international with Roma Dunze. Let's see who they have. If these teams can protect their quarterbacks, this could be a really fun matchup and a fun way to start your Sunday morning. But we'll see because both teams fail to usually do that throughout their entire history. 1 o'clock slot. Wow. Okay, Kyler Murray at Green Bay. Oh no 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 no! That's a different story. I love Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray is one of my absolute favorite players. You obviously know my bias towards the Green Bay Packers. I love it. This may be green. I have to see this. It's important to me now. Packers 2024 schedule. So this is also just an interesting fun fact for the general going audience of football. The Packer season ticket is actually broken up into two things: the green package and the gold package. The green package is the traditional shareholder or the traditional ticket holders for Lambeau. The gold package is what used to remain of the Milwaukee County Stadium season ticket holders. So they get the second and fifth game at Lambeau every year. So let's see, what is my actual thing? So yes, thank God I'll be able to go to that game. So my season ticket package is the green package, and I should say my family's. It's under my wife and I's name though now. So I will not be able to go to Minnesota Vikings week during week 4, but I can see the Cardinals during week 6, which is glorious. So, and then Detroit Lions on Sunday. Not bad. Not bad at all. Okay. So it sucks not to be able to see the Lions. That should be a good game, but I now know who I get to do, and this is another conversation I get to have with my wife later tonight. No, but nonetheless, I think Kyler Murray versus Packers is very interesting. The next game, Texans at Patriots, is going to be a cakewalk. Spoiler alert, I think the Patriots are going to be, if not the worst, if not one of the worst team in the league this year. That's how I feel about their talent roster. I think it's trash. So, we move forward. Good divisional game. Browns and Eagles could be somewhat interesting. I don't know why. It feels like the Browns and Eagles have played each other like every year for the last 5 years. But I could just be crazy. Colts at Titans. I see a lot of standout player games. The only ones that feel like could be competitive is Cardinals, Packers, Browns, Eagles. I guess Buccaneers and Saints could be competitive. It just, ugh. But it's interesting stuff. 4 o'clock. We got a loaded 4 o'clock slot. Divisional game. Interesting classic rivalry game from the 70s and Steelers and Raiders. Division game. Then obviously what will be America's Game of the Week. Lions at Cowboys. That should be fun. I'll root in division on this time. Go Lions. Kick the Cowboys' ass. That should be fun. But again, heavyweight battle, which was a rematch from last year. Heavyweight battle. Lions at Cowboys. That is a really solid 4 o'clock game. Sunday night Bengals at Giants. That's New York media mixed with Joe Burrow. And then, it's the New York weekend. Ugh. I want New York teams to be fun to watch simply for us game watchers. So half the primetime games early in the year don't suck because that's when they super load the New York market into primetime games. This is clearly just Joe Burrow versus the New York media, and then Josh Allen versus the New York media. But I guess with Aaron Rodgers, if things hold up well, Josh Allen at Aaron Rodgers could be really fun and interesting. So again, good Monday night game, Sunday night meh, great 4 o'clock game, and a great Thursday night game. So it's good end caps here. 6. We're going to take it to week 7 now. I'm going to try to just start highlighting kind of one game a piece because we're almost 30 minutes in. I don't know if you just want to essentially react to my reading at this point, but all right, Thursday night sucks. Broncos at Saints, completely uninteresting, even though it's the Sean Payton Bowl, which is clearly why it got the Thursday night treatment. Patriots Jaguars, uninterested. Who fucking cares? I also have more of a deep hatred for the Jaguars now due to their involvement with Tony Khan, who's their owner's son, also owns AEW, All Elite Wrestling. He's a complete fucking mark and an idiot, and I don't like him, and I don't like AEW. So I've now started to hate the Jaguars more because of it. He's a fucking mark. And if you've listened to the ONETA show, which is available on Tuesdays at PT Creative over on Spotify or on YouTube, you could hear a critique of AEW and how to get better. because I actually am always rooting for professional wrestling to get better, even if I hate the company. So check that out for yourselves. But yeah, Patriots, Jaguars, uninteresting. Okay, let's see. Seahawks, Falcons could be fun if the Falcons are actually real. This is interesting. Two best young quarterbacks from last year. CJ Stroud, Jordan Love, Texans at Packers. That should be a fun game. Dolphins at Colts also could be really fun if Anthony Richardson is healthy again. Seemingly because you're getting firepower on turf with the Dolphins and that high-speed track team versus Anthony Richardson and what should be an improved Colts offense. Really appreciate that. Really like where that is at. So that could be fun. Lions at Vikings. If the Vikings are up and running, could again be really fun. And we get a divisional game, Eagles at Giants. And I'll be rooting for my boys team over with the Giants. So Brandon, Derek, I love you. I'm rooting for your Giants in week 7. This is a really good 1 o'clock slot for the most part. 4 o'clock, Raiders, Rams, battle of formerly of LA. That's an interesting little matchup there. Just don't have high hopes for the Raiders this season. Panthers at Commanders. This is the dead game. And then we have the Super Bowl rematch, Chiefs at 49ers. That's going to be interesting. That's going to be really interesting. I wouldn't be shocked if 49ers take that because they seemingly get those kind of wins in the regular season. But that's a hell of a game to watch. Patrick Mahomes versus Kyle Shanahan's offense. 49er defense, hopefully with Dre Greenlaw back healthy. That's fireworks. That's fun. Jets at Steelers. The Steelers are a snorefest. And a fucking doubleheader. 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. game for our Central Time zoners on ESPN+. Huh. Chargers at Cardinals is at least kind of fun. Ravens at Buccaneers is kind of fun. By doubleheader standards of Mondays, not bad. But why the fuck are we getting all these doubleheader Monday night games? Is it just to make everyone have a participation award and say, hey, you get a primetime game. You get a primetime game. It's okay if some teams don't get a fucking primetime game because they're uninteresting and they suck. You earn those. The Jets and Giants for the last couple of years have no business being in primetime because they didn't earn them. Whereas the Lions, they never used to get primetime games. They've earned them. They deserve them because they're interesting and quality teams. All right, week 8, we're almost halfway through the league calendar. Vikings at Rams Thursday night. That could be a fun game or a shit show. Depends on how the Vikings get together and the Rams recover after losing Aaron Donald. All right, divisional game, Ravens at Browns. Quality game. Colts at Texans. Could be really fun quality game. I just said I hate the Jaguars, so we all know my rooting interest in Packers-Jaguars. Cardinals-Dolphins, Kyler Murray versus the pure track team. Could be fun. Jets at Patriots, that's dead. Falcons-Buccaneers, at least is a rivalry game. Bears at Commanders, that's fun with the top 2 picks in the draft. That's at least got a little bit of juice there. Fun young quarterbacks with Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels. Appreciate that one. That should be fun. Saints at Chargers, kind of interesting in the 4 o'clock slot. So 1 o'clock is at least somewhat of merit for week 8. We now go to the 4 o'clock slot. Saints at Chargers. Bills at Seahawks. Okay. Eagles at Bengals. It's one of the few times I'll root for Joe Burrow. Let's go, Joe Burrow. Fuck the Eagles. The Eagles suck. That's clearly my bias talking, but I don't really care. America's a better country when both the Eagles and the Cowboys lose. And everyone should understand that. But it should be a very well-contested game if the Eagles recover. Panthers at Broncos in the 4 o'clock slot is interesting. Chiefs at Raiders. Good division game. Good fun. You're seeing a lot of Chiefs and Cowboys in these late games for good reason. And then Sunday night, Cowboys at 49ers. Classic rivalry renewed. This is one of the times I believe Dallas actually deserves to be in that slot due to the history. And it's always fun to see Dallas get their ass kicked in San Francisco because they always do. And it's glorious. Shout out to my boys at Minraj, who's going to be watching that game as a 49er fan. and hopefully relishing every moment, which I will as well, because it's just fun to see the Cowboys get their shit kicked in by the 49ers at this time of the year. Monday night, Giants at Steelers. Sorry, boys, that's a snorefest. Alrighty, week 9. This is officially the halfway mark of the league season as we go. And also, NFL Network, get away from me. Texans at Jets. That's a good Halloween game. That's a fun Halloween game. And it'll be fun. Which team disguises themselves as a horrible team? That'll be interesting. Alrighty. Cowboys at Falcons could be fun. If Sean Payton can get his shit together, Broncos at Ravens could at least be somewhat interesting. Dolphins at Bills. That's really quality, high quality game. And then a bunch of meh. Chargers at Browns could be pretty interesting if the Browns can repeat their defense. That could be a fun smash mouth old school game of Chargers Browns. I really appreciate that. And here we are. 4 o'clock slot. Lions at Packers, great game. Rams at Seahawks, also a great game. Caleb Williams versus Kyler Murray. At least there's an interesting player there in the 4 o'clock slot. This is a great, small but great 4 o'clock slot here in this. These are what these should be. Should be interesting personal matchup with player personnel. Interesting divisional matchup, or just a great game. We have 2 possible really great games plus a personnel matchup that's interesting. That's what a 4 o'clock slot should really be. Sunday night, Jaguars at Eagles. That might be a skippable game for me, but am I going to be forced to root for the fucking Jaguars? Guess. Even though it hurts my feelings. Jaguars, if you get it interesting, that could be a fun game against Philly at the Link. And then Monday Night Football, we're saved by Patrick Mahomes again. Hooray. All right, that's halfway through the league calendar. We go to week 10. Now, before we move on to week 10, I do have to ask. Help yourself by helping me. Go over to ptecreative.etsy.com. And yes, this is the shameless promo read for myself. But there's really fun merch over at ptecreative.etsy.com. And I think you would absolutely adore it. Which is why I'm going to show some to you right here and right now on the show. We got cool merch that goes pretty much with every show that we do. We got Pokemon merch. We got other cool fictional merch. We got the new Bug Catcher line from Pokemon. And there will be the hoodies and the sweatshirts will be up and running. Hopefully we get the hats up for Bug Catcher as well, too. Then we have the You Hate to See It line. And we go to the Wisconsin Home stuff, which is also always great. Love that. And we've got our football line. Cheese, beer, and love number 10. Or if you want to be like me and hate the city of Philadelphia, get the Philadelphia football dumpster fire sticker. Where we even harass those of Philadelphia that can't say Eagles because 2 syllables is too much, so they have to say, go Birds. Gotta love the Philly dumpster fire sticker. Or if you're a Cowboy fan and you want to prove to everyone, how about you get your sticker that says nobody likes us? Quality sticker for you. But we got cool stuff all the way around over on the Etsy shop. Really fun stuff, and new merch is coming all the time. So go over to PTE Creative, ptecreative.etsy.com, and use that promo code BLISS, BLISS, at checkout and take 20% off any order of 2 items or more. So go check that out and help a brother out. I'd really appreciate you doing that for me. Because that'd be rad. And support a local artist. It's always fun. Back to it. Week 10 we are in. So, and my little bun is coming undone. I'm not trying to rhyme this much. But here I am all this time. So, week 10, that's fun for Thursday night. Bengals at Ravens, great divisional matchup. Like that. International game, Giants, Panthers. Why do international games always have to suck? I'm not trying to be biased with Packers Eagles, but that one at least is 2 heavyweight teams. That's seemingly like one of the first really interesting, good theoretical international games. Why do all the international games just have to suck? If we're trying to sell the product, okay, this is another soapbox. My apologies for going away. But if we're trying to sell the National Football League as a product, as an American product, across the entire world, got a wild fucking idea. Don't play shitty games there. With all due respect to my boys, I'm hoping the Giants recover this year. And I'm also rooting for the Panthers this year. Good friend, she absolutely adores the Panthers. Want her team to succeed. I want Bryce Young to do well. I want that team to be better. If you're trying to sell the NFL, to an international market, how about don't feed them horrible fucking games all the time? It was smart. You sent Patrick Mahomes over there last year. At least that was fun. Got Patrick Mahomes. You sent Tom Brady another 2 years ago in that Buccaneers Seahawks game. That was at least a good game. Worthwhile. Send good shit over there. Stop sending this trash. The world deserves better if we're trying to show them football as an international sport. World deserves better. NFL. Fucking watching you guys. Get your shit together. Alright, we're back to it. Week 10. Shitty international game. 1 o'clock. Mishmash of fun. Got some divisional rounds. Okay. It's an interesting yet uninteresting slate. And what I mean by that, because that's an oxymoronic statement, is what looks to be quite a bit of one-sided affairs or one-sided personnel fun. I know a lot of people are going to be playing up the narrative of Drake Mays by playing by this time of year Patriots Bears. Oh my God, Drake May versus Caleb Williams. What's going to happen? To me, that's not super interesting. But Bills should be one-sided against the Colts unless the Colts are together. Broncos, Chiefs. I don't think that's much of a contest, but you never know. There's at least one good division game with the Falcons and the Saints. If they are both on their A game and divisional round games against those two that hate each other, is interesting. Then 49ers come into the 1 o'clock slot against Tampa. Yeah. All right. And Steelers, Commanders. Man, who cares? Eagles, Cowboys in the 4 o'clock slot. Not bad. Jets at Cardinals. Kyler Murray, Aaron Rodgers. Not bad. I appreciate that. Sunday night. This is fun. Lions at Texans. That is an interesting game. And again, the Lions deserve these primetime games, and that's a fun game. CJ Stroud, surging Texans, hoping to keep their momentum going from this past season against a surging Lions team, hopefully, that's trying to win a Super Bowl. This is what, when schedule makers make it, this is what Sunday Night Football should be. It's the primetime slot for National Football League games. This is the kind of game that we deserve as fans. That's tremendous. Love that game for them. And then Monday night, Dolphins at Rams, although it's not inherently my cup of tea. They're two teams I kind of am meh about. There's aspects that I like and there's aspects that I don't. At least they're both two interesting teams from a personnel perspective and could be a really fun game offensively to watch. So Dolphins at Rams is a good Monday night game. Week 11, here we go. Again, I love the fact that this podcast is me just reading at you. My apologies. Commanders, Eagles. All right, divisional, whatever. Who cares? It's just my own bias. Hopefully, Jaden Daniels takes that one. Sunday, Packer-Bear rivalry revived. Interesting stuff. Jaguars at Lions is kind of interesting. Ravens at Steelers is interesting as divisional matchup. Again, 1 o'clock slot. There's a few gems, but not crazy about it. Let's go 4 o'clock. Falcons at Broncos. Weird game. Don't know why, but it's a weird game. Seahawks, 49ers. Love that game. Chiefs, Bills. Obvious coup de grace. Bengals, Chargers. Another coup de grace. Love that kind of stuff. But Chiefs, Bills is the obvious number one game of that week. And then we get Colts, Jets. God, they're really hoping that Aaron Rodgers is healthy this year, man. So many Jets primetime games. It feels like. Or high-profile Jets games. Colts, Jets at Sunday night is a wild fucking game, in my opinion. How Chiefs, Bills did not get that, I do not know. Maybe CBS flexing some muscles, trying to say, hey, shut up and give us the game we're supposed to get. But then again, Bengals and Chargers is right there. That's at least somewhat interesting. So I don't understand the selection there. And then you got the Battle of Texas. CJ Stroud and the Texans versus Cowboys. That's a Monday night worthy game. See, this is the kind of stuff that the Cowboys are worthwhile to have in prime time. Not some random ass game. So prime time's okay this week. Week 11. Chiefs Bills is the obvious coup de grace to look out for as we get the next installment of Patrick Mahomes versus Josh Allen rivalry. Fun stuff over in the AFC. Week 12. We're closing in, folks. We're closing in. Trust me. Prime Video, Steelers at Browns on Thursday Night Football. Okay. Fun little divisional game. Okay. Chiefs Panthers. Wow, that's going to be one-sided. Alrighty. Lions Colts could be interesting. Divisional round Vikings Bears. Not bad. Patriots Dolphins is theoretically a divisional game. That could be interesting, but it's not. It's not going to be. And we have Cowboys Commanders divisional game. So there's at least some divisional juice here. Not bad. And you get the Chiefs in the 1 o'clock slot as wild, so it's fun to have a standalone game where you can just watch Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs play. 4 o'clock. These are solid games. Divisional round. Good moxie there with Broncos Raiders. 49ers at Packers. That's going to be some fun stuff. Do like that game. Cardinals at Seahawks. Another good divisional round game. I will certainly probably be at Lambeau for this one, so that's going to be fun with my entourage. But again, this is what Sunday afternoon is supposed to be in the 4 o'clock slot, or the 3 o'clock slot, if you will. Or the, I'm just doing time, 1 o'clock slot if you're West Coast. And if you're in Mountain Time's not real, so don't worry about it. But you have, good divisional round game, another good division game, and a standout heavyweight game of 49ers Packers. It's a good slot there. Eagles at Rams, I at least understand why it was the Sunday night game. Kind of makes sense. It's fine. Then we go ESPN, Monday Night Football, Ravens, Chargers, the Harbaugh Bowl returns. That's worthwhile of a Monday night. I respect that. That should be fun. And that should be old school fuck you football. And I'm always here for that shit. All right, week 13. We are cruising. We are rolling. We are moving. We're going to keep doing so in week 13 because this is the Thursday night spectacular known as Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving, we are being treated to Bears at Lions. That at least could be fun. The greatest issue I have with Thanksgiving games, as a football fan, I understand. I'm with my family. I'm usually with my family or having a Friendsgiving, and that's great, and I love it. But football is always my main focus. I can't lie to you and say it's not. The Packers usually end up playing on Thanksgiving as well. But it pains me that we've gotten so many horrible Thanksgiving games. All of these games could at least be really interesting. Bears at Lions, a Caleb Williams-led Bears team versus what should be a good Lions team in a divisional round game to open Thanksgiving. That should be fun. Giants-Cowboys, classic rivalry, and the Giants usually show up once a year against the Cowboys at this time and kind of just fuck with them. I like that. That's good. And then Dolphins at Packers at least is a really weird, interesting matchup to get as the Thursday night big time game to close out Thanksgiving. And as long as things work out, I'll be in Lambeau at Thanksgiving, so that's going to be fun. So at least there's possibility for these three to be really good games. It sucks just going into Thanksgiving where you're like, we got 3 duds. What do we do with this? So this is at least interesting and fun. Then we get our Black Friday game, Raiders at Chiefs. We get Patrick Mahomes on Black Friday. Love that shit. That's going to be glorious. And it's a divisional round game. All right, 1 p.m. Let's see. Could be a little bit of fireworks, Chargers and Falcons. Texans, Jaguars at least could be interesting. Cardinals, Vikings could be interesting. Seahawks at Jets. It's a weird kind of game. That could be fun. Again, it could be little pops of fun in 1 o'clock. I'm fine with this 1 o'clock window, but it's mostly one-sided affairs for the most part. But who knows? I could be completely wrong by this time of the year. 4 o'clock slot. Buccaneers at Panthers. How the fuck is that a 4 o'clock game? Rams at Saints. Meh. Eagles at Ravens. Bird Bowl. At least worthy of the 4 o'clock slot. Let's go Ravens. Lamar, please kick the shit out of Philadelphia. Spoil everyone's holiday weekend. It'll be glorious. 49ers at Bills. That shit is great to close out Thanksgiving weekend, Thursday Night Football. Love that shit. That is a great game. Love the idea of seeing the 49ers go toe-to-toe with Josh Allen. Then Monday night, Browns at Broncos. Weird game. Don't understand it. But Browns deserve a primetime game after their performance last year. So, hooray. But I think overall, good Thanksgiving week of football across the boards. Week 14. Week 14. Hey! Thursday Night Football. Packers at Lions. Let's do back-to-back Thursday games. Why the fuck not? Love that shit. Good divisional round game. That should be a good Thursday night game on Prime Video. All right. Jets, Dolphins. That could be an interesting game as long as we have a healthy Jets team. Falcons at Vikings could be a fun little thing. And it's the Kirk Cousin Bowl. At least there's a storyline going into that game. Browns at Steelers. That's usually a really good rivalry game. That should be fun. There's another division game. Jaguars, Titans. Okay, that's a decent 1 o'clock slot with some fun stuff in week 14. Now we have great divisional games. Seahawks and Cardinals. Those games always go down to the wire somehow. I do appreciate that. Bills at Rams, another fun game. That's another good, interesting matchup game for the 4 o'clock slot. And Bears at 49ers, which is definitely going to be America's Game of the Week. Hey, that ain't bad. Caleb Williams taking on Kyle Shanahan's team. I like that. I like that shit. All right, and then we get the Harbaugh v. Reed 2. Chargers at Chiefs and Sunday Night Football. More Patrick Mahomes in primetime is good. More Travis Kelce in primetime is good. And frankly, for the good of the league, Jim Harbaugh and Justin Herbert in primetime is good. We like that. And that's going to be a really fun smash-mouth style of game. I like that. Then we go Bengals at Cowboys. At least it's understandable. You got Joe Burrow versus quote-unquote America's team. Even though they're not actually America's team. And the whole country hates them. As they should. Because America is a better country when the Cowboys lose. You heard it here, folks. But nonetheless, understandable why it's in Sunday Night Football. So, cool. Whatevs. Not bad. Not bad week 14. We're going to see a lot of flex games coming into week 14. Week 15. We're closing it in, folks. Closing in on the end of this year schedule. Uh-oh. Do I just have physical proof? I have it here, folks. Look. Everybody, look. Official NFL is rigged stuff. We have records, theoretical records. I now have the date and times everywhere. Great. Gotta take a nice little screenshot of that. You're seeing it here, folks. I now have physical proof. Hey, Packers are going to be 10-6 by this time. Rad. Of the week 15 slot, we have Rams at 49ers. Apparently, the 49ers are only going to be 5-11 this year. This is going to be fun because this is going to be the NFL is rigged crowd is going to be wild after seeing this shit. This is going to be fun. But we have Rams at 49ers in the Thursday night game. That's a fun Thursday night game. Ignore the records. This isn't real. Or if it is, I officially have to turn in my fandom card. Okay. Chiefs in a 1 o'clock slot and a good game against the Browns. That should be fun. Righty. Literally, these records are throwing me off. I almost want to go conspiracy theorist, and I don't believe in that conspiracy theory. But interesting little matchups. Dolphin and the Texans should be fun. If the Jaguars get their shit together, Aaron Rodgers, Trevor Lawrence could be a fun one. Okay. A lot of one-sided affairs here. Oh, this is how I know this is completely fake. The Patriots are going to be 12-4. And the Cardinals are going to be 13-3. So, if you had that on your bingo card prior to this episode, good for you. Ironically, I might have to do the thumbnail is the NFL rigged physical proof. 4 o'clock, Patriots at Cardinals. That's not worthy of that. Colts at Broncos. Bills at Lions. That's a worthwhile 4 o'clock game. And then we're getting Pennsylvania Bowl, Steelers at Eagles, Buccaneers at Chargers. At least it's kind of interesting, I guess. It's not bad. Then we get Packers at Seahawks for Sunday Night Football. Those games are usually really fun. That should be a good game. And then we get a weird December doubleheader of Bears at Vikings in an interesting divisional round game or a division game. Then Falcons at Raiders. What is up with this random ass weird Monday night? I don't get that at all. But more importantly, here you saw it here, folks. Scroll through if you have the video version. If you don't have the video version because you're listening on Spotify, go to YouTube to go check it out. We have the records of what every team is going to be in a 16-game season. We know it. We know it to be true. Here it is, all the records. We know that the NFL is now rigged. And, yeah. And while we know it's rigged, we're going to move on to Week 16 of the 2024 NFL season. Come on, load for me, baby. Load. All right. So this is the week prior to Christmas and the weekend prior to Christmas. Thursday night, Browns, Bengals divisional round. Okay, Cincinnati Bowl kind of makes sense. I should say Paul Brown Bowl and Ohio Bowl. I really should call it. That should be interesting. Oh, no more proof that the NFL is rigged. No records. So, I wonder if that's... I'm just going to test something quick on the video. We're going back to Week 15 just to see, after loading, the NFL's still rigged. Records are gone. The records are gone. The NFL... Conspiracy theorists. Come out of the woodwork. Look, they took the records away, and I took the screenshot for you. You saw it. We have physical proof via this video that the NFL is rigged, and now they just took it down. They know. They know they can hear me. All right, let's go back to Week 16. By the way, the NFL is not rigged. It's a stupid-ass conspiracy theory. All right. Here we are in Week 16. Browns at Bengals, interesting divisional round. Saturday game, leading with Texans at Chiefs. That's good football. And then a good divisional round game. Steelers at Ravens. Steelers divisional games are at least usually fun, so I'll give them to that. That's a good Saturday slate right before Christmas. I do like that. 1 o'clock on Sunday. Let's see. Meh. I like it because of the players, but Cardinals, Panthers isn't really going to get anyone's juices flowing. Lions at Bears, not bad. And that's not my divisional bias. That's just interest in the teams as they're currently constructed. Titans at Colts. That's a big old meh. Rams at Jets. Could be fun. Eagles at Commanders. God, I hope Jane Daniels is good. God, I hope the Eagles suck. Because I always want to be singing, Cry, Eagles, cry, on the road to misery. Which I sing to my kindergartners when they try to say, Fly, Eagles, fly at me. All right. 4 o'clock slot. So that's a fine... It's a kind of a meh 1 o'clock slot, but do remember we now have flex scheduling in effect this weekend. All right. Broncos, Chargers could be a fun divisional round game. Vikings, Seahawks could be fun. Jaguars, Raiders, that could be some random-ass wild shit. Whatevs. 49ers at Dolphins, Kyle Shanahan, Mike McDaniel Bowl. That could be cool. Really like that 4 o'clock game there. And then Buccaneers at Cowboys. This is bullshit. Fuck the Cowboys. They don't deserve this game. Why is that Sunday Night Football? And we're going into Monday Night Football. Saints at Packers. I'm going to be honest. I don't know why that's Monday night besides the fact that it's Lambeau and it's going to be cold. That's not my bias talking right there. That's just straight truth. I love Green Bay. I love the cold. I love Lambeau Field. It's the greatest place to ever watch any sporting event ever because it's the purest aspect of the sport. I don't understand why Saints at Packers is a Monday night game, but okay. Sounds rad. Like, whatevs. We can do it. Don't understand it, but whatever. All right, week 17, we're in the Christmas week schedule. And we're going to get some Netflix games, which I will point out to you here. So Wednesday, it is Christmas. We are getting Netflix having two. Netflix is now getting into the sport business. They signed the WWE into the Monday Night Raw deal, which is going to start at the end of this year or early next year. And now they're getting into pro football with the NFL. So you get Chiefs at Steelers, so you start right off the bat Netflix's football career with Patrick Mahomes. Fucking smart. That's that Netflix money talking right there, baby. And then you get Ravens at Texans, which is another really interesting game of quarterback matchups. I like this Christmas slot and the Christmas night slot. So you still have the night to be with your family to end the game, to end the night if you're a big Christmas Day person. So that's a really fun way to get into the Christmas season, in my opinion. I have no idea why we're doing Wednesday games, but it works. Alrighty. Thursday, December 26th. Prime Video. Seahawks at Bears. Okay. It's fine. Alright. We have Sunday Night Football. Not Sunday Night Football. Oh, and we have games yet to be scheduled. Okay. That's why it's not. So 1 o'clock slots. We have Jets at Bills. Divisional round. Could be fun. Packers at Vikings. Could be fun. Raiders at Saints, just because it's the weird Derek Carr Bowl, could be fun. Panthers at Buccaneers. Probably won't be fun. America's Game of the Week is going to be my 2 least favorite teams. Cowboys at Eagles. That's known as a dumpster fire of humanity. So for most people, it's going to be fun. And then we have Dolphins at Browns in Sunday Night Football. That could at least be really weird and interesting, especially with the Dolphins having to play in cold weather in Cleveland. That could be really fun. Monday Night Football, Lions at 49ers, simulcast ESPN and ABC. I love that shit with that NFC Championship rematch. That is a Monday night game, if you've ever heard of it. Then we go games yet to be scheduled. Broncos at Bengals, Cardinals at Rams, Chargers at Patriots, Colts at Giants, Falcons at Commanders. NFL, just do us a favor. Don't schedule Chargers at Patriots so no one has to watch it. Just give the Chargers a win. It'll be fine. Moving on. And finally, we're in week 18. Here we go. They are all TBD'd, which kind of sucks. But I do know there's no Monday night games. And I don't think there's any Thursdays. So week 18 consists of 49ers, Cardinals. Could be fun. Panthers, Falcons. So we're getting a lot of divisionals. Like the first 4 games are all divisionals. Division round. Okay, so we're getting all in-division games for week 18. I know there's usually a ton of division games in week 18, but shamelessly we're going to pick the best division games to highlight and not schedule one yet. That is the most NFL corporate shit I've ever seen in my life, and I am here for it because it's actually a good decision. In terms of just intrigue beforehand, though, outside of my bias, I think the best game I see, Seahawks at Rams is interesting. Vikings at Lions could be interesting. Browns at Ravens could be interesting. And Cardinals 49ers, honestly, could be a fun spoiler game. So those are fun games across the board in week 18. Who knows where we're going to see them. If I'm going to place my bets on anything based on divisional rounds, I think you could see Sunday night Browns at Ravens as a big game. Or Dolphins Jets could be a big game. Bengals Steelers could also be the bigger games of just divisional round closeout games for playoff spots. I think that's really important stuff for the NFL in week 18. So it's fun stuff. But that, my friends, is the entire NFL schedule, regular season, for 2024. I thought we got actually pretty good. We got a good even spread. I think there was one week that I was kind of like, it's kind of a dud of a week. There's always going to be a dud of a week, and then there's going to be weeks that you're not excited that turn out to be awesome. That's part of the fun of watching football. So I hope you enjoy what's coming to you just as much as I will. And if you're going to Lambeau at any time, let's meet up. Let's hang out. And thank you for listening to the podcast. But that is going to do it for this week's episode. Next week, don't exactly know what's going to happen because I am on vacation, but I'm going to try to make sure a podcast is recorded for you. So there will be at least a post up on YouTube and socials if there is not a show, just so that everyone knows what's up. But we'll see how that all goes. I will try to make sure I have a show for you for next week, though. But hopefully you liked this week's show. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, share this with other people as much as possible. If you're on YouTube, hit that comment and subscribe. It'd be really important. If you're on Spotify, leave us a review. Really cool. And if you want to keep listening to my voice because it's just so beautiful, I know you love it, go check out the ONETA show, which is every Tuesday. We just had a fun episode drop on Marvel Fatigue, and then we're going to continue with Marvel with an X-Men 97 review that's coming out on Tuesday, which is going to be really fun. Spoilerific. Then, after that, Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, all kinds of cool stuff over at PT Creative, over on the YouTube channel. Go check that out and go check our socials out, as always. But I appreciate you, and I appreciate you fellow football fans, even if you're an Eagles fan. But peace, love, and hugs to all you out there. I'll see you at Lambeau this year.